Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about how much it cost me to make 800 wheel horsepower in my Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So if you don't know, go through the mods, tell you what it cost. But it actually made 787 on like a 94-degree day. They didn't let the car cool down. They had just finished running the car and then they threw it on the dyno. So there's two other cars with the exact same setup. They've made over 800. So mine, they already said it would make 800 on a cooler day when it's not, when they're not kind of hot lapping it. So we're gonna get it re-dynoed here soon when I do the lower pulley. But it is an 800 wheel horsepower car. So yeah, let's go over the mods and then we're gonna go over how much everything cost in total, if you guys are wondering, or if you have a Hellcat and if you want to do this to your car. So first off, we got the 265 upper pulley kit, and then we've also got the B Woody idler. The B Woody idler, those run about $365, and the complete Metco 265 kit, that runs about $259. Then I've got the leg maker intake LMI, which you don't have to do. You could actually make 800 with the stock intake. Just this box, once you get above 800, this will really help you out. But there has been people with the stock air box that have made 800. This one's about 400. I think the AFE is about 500, but they're all really good intakes. But like I said, you could keep the stock intake and air box with just like an upgraded filter up to 800 if you wanted to do that. So this isn't totally necessary, just something that I did. Got the dual nozzle stage 2 meth kit. For the stage 2 meth kit, it's $650. So, and we'll go over the labor here in a second, just going over the parts. But yeah, the $650 for the whole kit. And actually, instead of using an extra tank, we just used my washer fluid. Use that as the reservoir for the meth. That way when I'm running low on meth, it'll come up on the dash display as low washer fluid, but actually it's my methanol. So, and we've got it set a little bit higher just so I've got it in there with plenty of time. You never want to run low on that stuff, that's for sure. So we've got that. Go inside the car real quick, and obviously the HD green belt, which you need when running the different pulley setup. So, and then I've got the Snow Performance. This gauge actually comes with it, 2 meth kit, but this little pod does not. They sold this to me separately. This little pod's $100, but it's totally worth it because the fabric actually, it's hard to see, I know it's dark, but the fabric, oh, there you go. The fabric actually matches the factory fabric, which is really cool. So it looks like it should be there. But yeah, that's the little pod that you get from Snow Performance. I mean, the little gauge you get from Snow Performance. The pod was separate. That Boost Performance, who did all the work on my car, found for me. So that's really cool. And that was only $100. So we've got the Stage 2 meth kit. Got the B Woody idler. So I'm reading the invoice right now. The Metco 265 complete kit. These little check valves that they needed to install. To actually install it on the intake. Bulkhead fittings, which come from Snow, it's just a little extra piece. HD green belt, the gauge pod, a gallon of boost juice just to get the car going, even though I've got a bunch here now. And then, so the labor on it all. They actually forgot to put on this invoice. It's on one of my other invoices, but they forgot to put the labor for the pulleys and everything. And they're missing one other pulley, so there's $700. Pretty much, there's $700 missing on this invoice. That's on another invoice, so we'll add that up at the end. But the parts total, before we add the extra $700, comes to $1,569, and then the labor comes out to about $1,569 also, so it's actually pretty close. But like I said, there's $700 on another invoice. I want to say it's 300 in parts and 400 in labor that's missing. It's on a different invoice that I paid. But anyways, if you want to know, because you can install all this stuff yourself, but you have to send the computer off to HP to get it unlocked in order to get it tuned. So the credits, it's kind of where it gets a little ridiculous, but to unlock the computer from HP was $250, and then the actual credits for the transmission and for the engine in order to tune it, that's another $300 just from HP. And then you have the actual shop's dyno tuning time on top of getting the credits, and they charge $550 for their tunes, which is reasonable. Back in Denver, that's like an average price for a car tune. So, and it gets more expensive depending on if you go like full standalone, where they have to write the whole ECU. Whereas here, they just, they have to mess with certain tables based on the mods. But yeah, they charge $550 for a base tune, or not for a base tune, but for a full tune on the car. And then when you come back, anytime you come back after that, I want to say it's about $250, so that's not bad at all. Pretty reasonable on that because the car is already done by them. They just have to make changes to it based on new mods you're doing. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, with the $3,300 here for parts and labor, and then the $700 on the other invoice, you're looking about $4,000 is about what I spent to make 800 wheel horsepower on my car. Now I've got a couple of little extra things also. I also have the JBA cat delete, so I don't have cats on the car. Does it make a huge difference? No, not yet. Once you get above the 800, 850 threshold, that's where you kind of see the difference of the cats holding you back. And I know this because Brad's white Hellcat, he made 815, and he's still on cats and a completely stock exhaust. His car's pretty quiet for having over 800 horsepower. Same with Scott's as well. He's got the cats in there, and he still has the mufflers in there as well, and he made 800. Same thing, just, it sounds like a stock Hellcat until you get on it, but it's still not that loud. My car's obnoxiously loud with the cat delete and the muffler delete, so you don't have to do those. But kind of, they said once you get over the 800 to 850 threshold, that's where you kind of see the gains from not having the cats holding you back in there, restricting flow. So that's not totally necessary, and it was only like $350 I think for the cat delete. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was somewhere in there for the cat delete. It's inexpensive, and if you want your car louder, it's a good way to do it. Piss off your neighbors for sure. Kevin's car is actually going to be louder than mine because he's doing cat delete. He already had the muffler delete, and he's doing headers from Cook, so that thing's going to be insanely loud. We've already heard a Hellcat with Cook's headers, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's too much. But yeah, so $4,000, you can get 800 rear wheel horsepower in your Hellcat. It might be a little more depending on, who you go through for your labor, and who tunes your car, or if you do all the labor yourself, you're going to save yourself a bunch of money. I didn't want to do the labor on the pulleys just because, one, I didn't have the time, and two, I didn't really feel comfortable pulling the blower off by myself. So, like my Jeep, I've done all the mods on my Jeep. On the Hellcat, the only things I've done is I did the cat delete myself, which is pretty easy because it's a bolt-on part. It's not difficult at all. I have a video on that if you want to watch it. But for them, what they charged on the labor and for my time, it was worth it just to pay them. But you could definitely do all this stuff yourself. It all is technically bolt-on parts. And that's what I love about the Hellcat, is that you can put $4,000 in this car and make 800 horsepower, run low tens if you have good tires, and you can hook up. That's what's really cool about these cars. They take mods really well. The car, I drove it 2 hours the other day, 2 hours one way, 2 hours back. I went to Lubbock. It's close to 2 hours, and the car drove stock. I had it cruising at 80 miles an hour, still getting 20 miles a gallon. The car drove completely stock. It was obviously a little bit louder inside because of the cat and the muffler delete, but when I had the music on, you couldn't even tell that the exhaust was there because it was riding at such a low RPM. So I'm really happy with the car, how it runs. It's really cool that I can daily drive an 800 horsepower car. Other cars at that power level, it's really hard to daily drive them because they're like obnoxious. So the Hellcat's cool. It's still comfortable, still rides really well. Like I said, it's not too crazy until you get on it. Once you get on it, it gets a little hairy. So yeah, that's what I got. I still need to do the lower pulley, which Boost already has for me. I need to do the lower pulley. But the reason why I haven't done it yet is because at the time you do the lower pulley, you're maxing out the injectors, which is around like that 850, 860 horsepower area, because I'm still on pump gas. Gonna have to do the injectors. So that's like another $1,000 just for injectors. The pulley isn't too bad, it's like $500 to $600 plus labor, but the injectors are $1,000 just for the injectors, and then you gotta do the labor on those, and then retune it with the injectors and the pulley. But after that, probably in the 850, 860, maybe 870 range to the wheels. And then I'd still need to do still need to do the drive shaft, because that's going to twist once I hook up at the track and get some good tires. So yeah, that's what's next on the list, but it's about to be winter time, so take my time with it. There's going to be no rush on it. There's no reason to get it done right now, because the track's closed till, I don't know, March or April here. So there's really no point to get it all done right this second. I'm gonna take my time with it. But I really enjoy the car right now. If you guys live anywhere near Amarillo, or if you're in a few hours and you're looking for a good shop, Boost Performance is the place to go. They're really reasonable on their pricing. They'll get you in as soon as they can. They're usually pretty busy. A lot of people use them, but they're really good about working with you guys. And my car, like I said, drives amazingly, and they even called me a few days after to make sure the car was running good. They want to make sure I liked how the transmission was shifting, because they tuned the transmission. So I think Brent and George are really good guys. Make sure you go see them. Boost Performance, Amarillo, Texas. And that's gonna do it for this video. Starting to do more consistent videos, just takes a lot of time, but make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Hellcat. Or what you think I should do next, even though I know what I'm doing next. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.